Also the one who loved you most? When betrayal turns to blood and death gives you a second chance, would you seek revenge or reclaim a love that never truly died? Stay till the end for the shocking twist, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more heart-gripping, English-dubbed emotional thrillers that will leave you breathless. I remember the sound of my own heartbeat fading, slow, fragile, like glass cracking in silence. The last thing I saw before darkness claimed me was Adrian's cold, emotionless face, the man I had loved and hated in equal measure. My blood stained his hands, yet his eyes, they trembled. I thought it was guilt, but later I'd learn it was something deeper, something that would shatter everything I believed about him and about myself. My name was Alara Quinn, the rising designer of Quinn Atelier, and Adrian Vale was my greatest rival, the arrogant heir to Vale Industries who'd stolen my spotlight, my clients, and, I thought, my dignity. But what no one knew was that behind our rivalry, there existed a forbidden, hidden truth. The nights we spent together in secret, the passion we buried under venomous words, and the whispered promise he once made. Even if the world burns, I'll find you again. I laughed at that then, believing his love was just another game, until the night I died, betrayed by those I trusted most. It began with an invitation, the annual gala at Vale Tower. I was nominated for Designer of the Year, my dream finally within reach. But that night turned into a nightmare. My dress, my masterpiece, was switched before the show, replaced with a flawed version that tore on stage. The humiliation was unbearable. Cameras flashed, laughter echoed. Adrian stood there, watching, cold, silent. Later, I confronted him, my voice trembling with rage. "Was this your doing?" I demanded. He said nothing, but the look in his eyes, it was pain. Before I could press further, a fire alarm went off. Chaos erupted, and amid the smoke, a figure pushed me from the rooftop. As I fell, I saw Adrian running toward me, screaming my name. But it was too late. My body hit the ground. My world went black. Death wasn't the end. It was the beginning. When I opened my eyes, I was back, 2 years earlier, before it all began. The same world, the same faces. Only now, I knew the future. I knew who would betray me. I knew who would kill me. And I had a choice, to repeat history or rewrite it. My first instinct was revenge. The names burned in my mind. Cassandra, my so-called best friend who framed me, and Director Han, who sold my designs to Vale Industries. But most of all, Adrian. Because if he didn't push me, he still let me fall. So I vowed, this time, I'd destroy them all. I'd rise higher, strike harder, and make Adrian Vale crawl before me. But fate had its own twisted plans. When I met him again, he looked the same, composed, ruthless, untouchable. But his eyes lingered longer this time, as if déjà vu haunted him too. "You've changed," he said quietly. "You're not the same Alara I knew." I smirked. Good, she died. He didn't laugh. Instead, he whispered, almost to himself, "Then why do I feel like I lost you twice?" Those words cut deeper than I expected, because under all my anger, part of me still remembered his touch, his warmth, his voice calling my name. I buried those feelings beneath my armor of vengeance, but no matter how hard I tried to hate him, fate kept intertwining our paths. Every event I tried to twist, every betrayal I tried to prevent, Adrian was there, saving me from a rigged showcase, protecting me from an accident at the studio, confronting Cassandra before she could backstab me again. Slowly, a horrifying truth unraveled. He wasn't my enemy. He had been my shield. Digging deeper, I found hidden messages, encrypted emails, and a secret file labeled Project E. Inside were designs, my designs, with timestamps proving he'd been protecting my work, not stealing it. And among them, a private note written in his hand. "Alara must never know. If she hates me, she'll live. If she loves me, she'll die." My heart stopped. I traced the trail back to Cassandra. She had been working with an investor, Adrian's stepmother, Evelyn Vale, who wanted full control of Vale Industries. I had unknowingly become a pawn in their game. The night I died, Adrian wasn't my killer. He was my savior, trying to stop Cassandra's men from pushing me. The fall wasn't supposed to happen, but Evelyn ordered it anyway. Adrian took the blame to protect me even after my death, because exposure would have killed him too. Knowing this shattered me. I had hated the one man who had destroyed himself to save me. I realized then that love could be as cruel as revenge. Both burned you alive, but one left your soul in ashes. Yet I couldn't just forgive him, not after everything. So I decided to make him pay, not with blood, but with truth. At the next gala, the same one where I'd once fallen, I arrived wearing the same red gown I died in. Gasps filled the room. Everyone thought it was an omen. Cassandra froze. Evelyn smiled, too soon. I walked up to the stage, microphone in hand, and revealed everything. The forged contracts, the sabotage, the bribes, the death plot. The crowd erupted in chaos. And then I dropped the final bomb, a recording of Evelyn confessing to killing her own husband years ago. Adrian turned pale. She screamed as security dragged her away. Cassandra fled, only to be caught by the press outside. But the real storm came after. Adrian found me alone backstage, his eyes red, voice shaking. "You knew," he said. "You knew and you still came?" I looked at him, tears threatening. "I wanted to see if you'd catch me again." Silence. Then, slowly, he walked toward me and said, "You fell once because I was too late. I won't make that mistake again." His lips brushed mine, gentle, trembling, full of pain and promise. For a moment, the world disappeared. The past didn't matter. The fire, the betrayal, the death, none of it mattered. We were two broken souls trying to rewrite destiny. But destiny doesn't forget. Just as I thought everything was over, the lights flickered. A gunshot echoed. Adrian collapsed into my arms, bleeding. Cassandra's accomplice, a shadow from the past, had returned for revenge. "You ruined us," he screamed, before being tackled by guards. I held Adrian close, sobbing. "Don't you dare die on me again." He smiled weakly. "Guess I kept my promise. I found you again, even if it kills me." His hand went limp. But this time, I wouldn't let death win. I called every connection, every doctor, refused to let go. For 3 days, I stayed by his hospital bed, whispering stories from our first life, begging him to wake. And on the third night, when the rain finally stopped, he opened his eyes. "You talk too much," he murmured. I laughed through tears, clutching his hand. "I'm never leaving you again." Months passed. The world saw us as rivals turned partners. The tabloids called it the redemption of Vale and Quinn. But behind closed doors, we knew the truth. We were survivors of our own fates, lovers who had died once and learned to live twice. I rebuilt my brand, he rebuilt his company. We started fresh, together. And sometimes, when the moonlight hits his face, I still see flashes of that night. My fall, his scream, the fire. But instead of fear, I feel peace. Because this time, I didn't just win revenge. I won the one heart that had always beaten for me. And somewhere deep inside, I know, if fate ever dares to test us again, we'll both burn the world before letting each other fall. Love can kill, but sometimes it's the only thing powerful enough to bring you back. If this story touched your soul, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more English-dubbed emotional thrillers where love, betrayal, and destiny collide.